Um, it would appear after the last few games that you're the undisputed number one now. Is that how you're seeing it?
I mean, like I mentioned before, every time I come in, I just focus on trying to be the best in training and improve myself in every way. And whenever I get the chance on the pitch to try and prove that I'm the right decision to be playing, and that's all I can do.
You've got some terrific competition though from Queeveen and Mark.
Yeah, definitely. Like you see, even just in training today, the quality of the three keepers, we feed really well off each other. Like you said, we're all quite young and we're all still learning, and it's a brilliant group to work with.
When you look back at the last window, how would you assess it?
I think it was quite positive in terms of performances. I think the results definitely could have gone more our way. I mean, if we keep going the way we're going and putting in these quality performances, I'm sure the results will come. And it was brilliant to see players like Andrew coming through, making their debuts. And I suppose the belief and the quality that we played with in the games was really promising.
Even though the result didn't go our way in the end, the performance against Portugal was pretty memorable, and for you, the penalty save. Did you get much reaction when you went back to your club?
I did, yeah. You have a lot of people asking me what it was like, but like you said, the performance was outstanding that night. We just didn't get the result; it didn't go our way in the end, but it shows real promise for upcoming games.
But back specifically to the penalty against Ronaldo, I mean, had you thought about what you were going to do beforehand? Had you studied him?
Yeah, so before every game I look at penalty takers, and I spoke to Dean Kiley before the game if it was Ronaldo or Fernandes that was going to take it, and the different run-ups that they might have and what side I was going to go to depending on his run-up, and I stuck to my gut and I was able to make the save, which is brilliant.
And I suppose it particularly impressed your Manchester City colleagues.
Yeah, so it was very nice to be able to do it in front of some of them, just make that even more bit special.
Well, best of luck for this week.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, Havard.
Gavin, have things changed for you since those sort of high-profile performances for Ireland? Have you been recognised more? Are people judging you differently?
I'm not too sure. I don't really think about that too much. I just try to focus on my own game, and I mean, the most important thing after that game was to back it up, because I suppose that moment, it's as much as it's special, it doesn't mean anything if you can't go and then put in some performances at your club. So that's what I was most focused on. So I was happy I was able to perform quite well in my recent games.
And in terms of the game at the weekend against Azerbaijan, obviously the group has gone, qualification's gone. So what are Ireland playing for?
I mean, every time you step on the pitch, you play to win. That's the main focus. And for us as a group, I suppose it's to show progress from where we've come from. I mean, like I said, I think we showed that in the previous games we played in the last window, and we're just going to look to build on those performances with some of the tactical work we've been doing, and with, more importantly, results.
You talk about results. The best performances have often been against the top teams, and disappointing against the teams that arguably you're expected to win, like Luxembourg and Azerbaijan as well. Have you looked at that as a group, and is there a reason behind that, do you feel?
Yeah, we have looked at that, and we've mentioned it in meetings, and we've noticed that when we've had a lot more of the ball, we've struggled a bit, and inside we're trying to rectify that and see how we can improve in games where we have more of the ball and be more of a threat to those oppositions.
Without giving too much away, what does that entail then, being better with the ball?
I suppose there's some tactical stuff, but also just bringing that intensity. When you have a lot of the ball and a team's putting 11 men behind the ball, sometimes it can start to get a bit slow and a bit laboured, and just increasing the tempo and the intensity. I think that's one of the most important things when you have a team that's just looking to sit back and break.
And as a keeper, can you almost set the tempo from the back sometimes?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely one of my roles, is to set the tempo and the intensity, not only with what I'm doing on the ball, but also with my voice.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kieran. Hi, Gavin, how are you?
Hi.
No wins yet in Group A, no competitive win yet under Stephen. Is that winless run a concern for the players at all?
Not at all, because I see massive progress over the last few games, and I see where we're going as a group. and I feel that's what a lot of the other players think. They can see the progress we're making with a lot of the young lads that are coming through and how brave we are in terms of playing, and we've just not got rewarded for that. But I'm sure if we continue to play how we have played, and if we continue to build on what we've done, the results will come.
You're obviously not based here, you're based in the UK, but are you aware of the debate here between people who want Stephen Kinney to continue the job and people who want him to be moved on? And what would your reaction, what would your advice to be to those people who say he should be removed from the job?
No, I wouldn't be too aware of what the opinions are of other people, but I think the most important thing is to look at us as a group, look at the recent games we've played, look at the game against Portugal, the game against Serbia, look at the amount of young players that have been integrated into the squad, and this isn't going to be a short or quick fix. It's not going to be a temporary solution. This is for a long-term plan to get us into a position where all these young lads will be able to break through into this team and will be able to challenge the best teams in the world. That's the aim.
And just finally, just looking back, I'm sure you reviewed the previous game against Azerbaijan. What happened the last day? What do you need to rectify to win the next day?
So just obviously we've only been in a day now. We've briefly spoken about that. There's some tactical stuff that we can work on, and we've spoken about that within the group. But like I mentioned before, with the intensity and aggression of the press, but also when we have the ball, I think if we perform anywhere near the levels we played against Portugal and Serbia, the results should go our way.
Just a couple of questions each for the live section. Gavin, if you want to continue that.
Gavin, you're evidently a pretty confident guy, but at the age of 19, did you ever think that regular senior Irish international career would be happening for you this quickly?
I mean, it was always a hope and an aspiration, and now that it's happening, I don't even think about it like that. I think about what's the next goal, what's the next level I can get to, and I just continue to take things day by day, training session by training session, match by match, and trying to improve every day, really.
Being Ireland's regular goalkeeper, has it changed you at all, as either a person or a footballer?
Possibly just gives me that little bit of recognition for all the hard work I've put in, which is good, but it gives me just that taste for success and how I want to get to a next level even quicker, and how I can work harder to get to that next level, like I said.
And just lastly for me, Gavin, slightly more tangibly, we saw the defence and the rest of the Irish team probably pass back to you and use your distribution a little bit more in the last window compared to March. Was that something that the manager had talked about using your distribution as an asset for the rest of the team?
I don't think it was a major talking point, but I suppose when you're playing against teams that we were playing against, Portugal and Serbia, and they're such high pressing teams, and I was comfortable with the ball, I think the players recognised that and they could just use me as an outlet, which I was more than happy to do.
Damien, please.
Gavin, there's obviously a huge step from League One to international football, but how has your league football prepared you for what you first did at the national level?
There's a huge difference, but I think if you approach all of the games in the same way, it doesn't make a massive difference. If I approach every league game with the same intensity and the same mindset that I'd approach every international game, and I think that's just the mentality of wanting to win, to be the best on the pitch, to play with intensity and a great temperament. And I think if you play with that mentality, no matter what level you're playing at, you'll be one step in the right direction.
And just going back to the Ronaldo penalty, I mean, everybody's been talking about it. How often has it come through your mind since last week?
I don't think about it too much, but like you said, there's a lot of people who bring it up every now and again, and it's a nice thing to be able to go back to. But I just want to kick on, and I want to have another moment like that.
And Ed, just stay in the live section.
Gavin, how are you doing? I suppose following your performances in the green jersey over the last window, did you have a conversation with Manchester City about that performances, and whether are they monitoring your situation? Would they be able to call you back, or are you contracted to Portugal for the full season?
I mean, the only conversations I would have had after that last window was with Xavi. He's the goalkeeper coach with the first team at City, and I speak to him very regularly after every match, and the conversations just would have been in terms of like a tactical breakdown of the game, what I done well, what I could have done better, and how to improve. There was no conversations about anything else other than what I did on the pitch. So no, I'm very much just focused on what I'm doing at the moment, just taking it game by game, and I'm not really thinking about anything else other than that.
It's obvious then also just the players and the manager are all sort of focused now towards building for Euro 2024. Would the players, you think, be more comfortable to know if the manager is in place for that full campaign, and so that you could also start really beginning that journey together?
I mean, from the players' point of view, like, we're not even really thinking about that. Like I said, we're just thinking about the next game, and we're taking all the information that we're getting from the manager and Keith and Anthony, and it's really been brilliant. And like I said before, we've seen the progress that we've been making, and we're just going to look to continue to build on that, and take it game by game, because the most important thing for us is now on Saturday focusing on that game. We're not thinking any further ahead of that.
Okay, we're just going to start the embargoed section.